Canola, and I'm representing the haex programme, which is one of the sponsors of the Touch Rugby World Cup. haex is a collaboration of a number of universities based in the Midlands, including the University of Nottingham. One of haex's main aims is to support industry to innovate, developing new products and services in the hydrogen economy. We decided to sponsor the Touch Rugby World Cup, particularly in relation to energy use, so that Geopura,
How's it going up there?
Stressful.
Is it?
Yeah.
What's the matter?
Too many cooks?
Yeah, that's why I'm staying out here.
Yeah. Honestly, so smart.
I'm having a good time there. We'll just load up there.
So is this live from the get-go?
Yeah, that is live.
Well, good afternoon, Joe. How are you? You've joined us outside. You've left the fortress, and well, we're here to enjoy some action from the women's 27s competition, one of the most intriguing of the competition. We spoke in the run-up to just how young the women's open side is for England, so there'll be plenty of experience in this team who just about didn't make that cut. So there's going to be loads of talent out there up against the Swiss.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how this women's 27s team can match up against the Swiss. The Swiss typically very well structured, very well organised. And yeah, I know a lot of these players have moved up in age categories into the 27s, which means that we're in for a very interesting affair in terms of the dynamism and the structure that the 27s are going to provide.
And it's the Switzerland side playing in their red up against England in the white with red trim. England left to right in this opening 20. No scores to say that at the moment, of course. We've just kicked off here. I've ran over from the Women's Open where Samoa were pretty devilish in their defeat of Hong Kong. And of course, you've been across pitch one throughout the day so far. And it's been a really excellent day of touch rugby, a bright start to this World Cup.
Yeah, it's been really good so far on day one, starting as they mean to go on, really dynamic. And the Swiss now just at the running through their line attack, trying to find some impetus with the Swiss contingent at the bottom of the field, letting their voices be heard. The touch is made.
Well, it's great to see the level of support from all the different national sides. So Switzerland turned up in good numbers here, diving towards the line. Barbara too, but or in fact it was Marie-Helena Bertoni that time. And diving into the corner well, across came Annabelle Janssen on the cover. As we're all settled now in our new home here on pitch 6. Well, it's great to have so much coverage with action from pitch 5 as well so far today. Pitch 4 and pitch 3 will also be live for you here at Highfields. For now, though, it's the Swiss who take on England, who have, well, they've weathered the early storm, Joe.
Yeah, definitely. It's, you know, when I was playing, I always used to prefer having a really tough defensive set initially. You almost like kick off the cobwebs, get a really good defensive shut, and then you can roll through your transition. And England at the moment just getting into that final third. It looks to be a sweeper play coming. It is. They look to check back off on the inside. Missed pass. Touch is made, but you've got to use all of your 6.
Well, it was Catherine Emma Fielding that time caught. And here come the Swiss in response. Got some physical touches there from Beth Newton. And straight out the line comes Buttsworth. So plenty of experienced names from the regional and national teams across this team. But that's a lovely ball to set Lisa Zuberlufi away. Final touch, but a good drive from Switzerland.
Yeah, really good drive from Switzerland. Nice bit of pace injected on the last touch, but matched equally by the defensive pressure of England. And as you say, you know, we will recognise lots of these English names from the nationals just a few weeks ago here. And look at the pace injected as England look to roll through. Scooping player, checks off, ball is away, just. They recycle the play, look to go open side. Good pace shown, ball goes wide, and it will be a score in the corner. And that's heads up, jouer rugby.
Top work from Isabel Moore, who in the end frees Beth Newton. And the Swiss side go behind, despite a really strong showing from them in the early stages. Well, they'll have the tap off from halfway, but if you can turn on the afterburners like that, Joe, you're always going to do well in the game of touch.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's what we just had this discussion with James on pitch 1 comms. Speed's nothing without application, right? You can be as fast as you want, but it's about manipulating the space, drawing and passing, using your pace for everyone else. And she does just that. And Swiss looking to try and get one back, dive at the line, but touch is made. It's a good option.
Mahayan Patsox there, close to the line. And Patsox takes on the return, but looks to drive herself. And they're up to the 5th touch, with just one more bite at the cherry here. Bowen is at the half, hands it off back to Patsox, who, well, crowded out of things there. A little bit uninspiring this time, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, for me, yes, we're only, 3-4 minutes into this game, but England are defending really tight. Their links and their wings are like hooking in underneath the middles, and it means that for the Swiss they've got to be able to manipulate those middles a little bit better, or you throw the long ball initially and you try and go around the outside.
A strong set of 6 from England, who have driven the Swiss back deep into their own half. They lead by the 1 try in this women's 27s competition, and well, they've dislodged Maddie Parker there. The Swiss women will have another go at it here, taking it down the left-hand tram line. On come the substitutes. They made it to the box. And what can they offer? Looping pass from Jennifer Hinham. And they're over halfway. Touch taken by Werford. And here's Hinham again. Lofted ball. Another 6 touches used. It's, despite the early score, a bit of a stalemate so far.
Yeah, for me, just the Swiss losing momentum in their drive, like going to engage the touch, then having to take a couple steps backwards, dump the ball, and then again, and it just, you can't build any pressure. You need to be predicting those touches, ball down quick, ball down clean, so your half can come in and make it pay.
Lovely ball back inside. It almost found the on-rushing Lucy Snape, who would have been through and away for England's second. Instead, turnover ball. Switzerland look to rebuild and go a step further than their last set of 6. There's 2 touches burnt, and they've lost a bit of momentum there. And now they're on the outside. Good run from Anna Siroki Galambos. A strong name, of course, as is Zuberlufi, the number 12. On the pickup, options left and right. Picks out Tull. But this time the ball goes to ground. But a little bit more pleased with that Swiss attack.
Yeah, definitely. You know, much better from the Swiss, trying to move the ball from wing to wing, create a bit of separation. But England's defence is just super tight. They're moving together as a set of 6, not really allowing any sort of space for the Swiss to expose. And then this is what you get with touch IQ. You'll see on the far side, they sub 2 players off immediately. So they don't need to drag it over. They can just roll through their drive with fresh legs already on the field, and that's the benefit you get with that touch IQ.
Decent carry from Anna Wilson, and suddenly it's opening up. Scooping away goes Isabel Moore, who finds the pass. Wilson dots down for England, and for the second time Isabel Moore is the creator for England 27's women's side. 2 assists for the day, and she's been the difference.
Yeah, and it's the complete converse of what we've seen from the Swiss side so far. That's what you get when you can roll through and get the defence rolling backwards without having enough time to hit the onside line and then go forward. And England just used that momentum oh so well, carved through them like a hot knife through butter. And now the Swiss look like they're really up against it.
Here comes Switzerland, though. They've carved a good opportunity here. There was a bit of space down the right, but instead the touch was taken. They'll have another go at things from close range. Katarina Bonn hands it off to Patsux, but, well, that's a rather disappointing end to a promising-looking attack.
Yeah, Swiss just losing track of the touch count. I think you need people on the pitch to be really bellowing the touch count so everyone's on the same page. And there's been a couple of occasions where they've looked to scoop through and then it's 5th, and then they look to set up the scoop and it's already 5th, and it's just not quite clicking at the moment for this Swiss side, but they are up against an almighty task. Because as we say, this women's England's team is spattered with experience and knowledge of the game, although that's half court, so a good defensive shutout for the Swiss.
Looking at this women's 27 category a little bit wider, Joe, how are you expecting things to play out? Of course, England, Australia, New Zealand, they're front runners in all the competitions this week, but who else could challenge?
For me, it'd be the likes of Ireland and France and some more of the established nations in the 27s division that could really sort of stake a claim to maybe a bronze medal spot. I mean, I dare to say that the Swiss look to go outside. It doesn't quite happen for them, but I dare to say that the gold and silver will already be allocated to Australia and New Zealand respectively. They are the ones to beat.
I refuse to have that chat in any of my commentary boxes all week. It's going to be a clean sweep for England. They're going to win 9 categories. What are you talking about? Well, it was Siroki Galambos who went down on the left-hand side. And that's great footwork to open up the Swiss defence. Just checking back this time. Kells. Good little darting run up through the centre. Good pick up from Kells, who's again involved. It's Lucy Snape with that teasing footwork a moment ago. The Swiss are back with it. Well, they've made it to the edge. Desperate for a little bit more support. Back on the inside, looking to open things up. Into touch goes Zuba Luthi. Touch taken by Tu as well. Zuba Luthi gets the ball away. Good take by Binkert. That's 6 touches. Yet again, the Swiss just failing to really challenge England's line. Whereas Rosemary Kells was almost away. As you said, a good touch.
Yeah, and Swiss really starting to sort of kick into gear now, but they've got to be able to stop this. This is a 4-on-2 for England. If they can execute, it's easy walking. But that'll be 6. It's ball down, so with a skiller creeping in from England. And a good defensive set from the Swiss, but talking about the Swiss attack just a couple moments ago, much better fluidity in their drive. Really started to get a roll on England, but it's what happens on 5th, right? So as a scooper, you can't just go in one direction because it's too easy to defend unless you've got absolute wheels, and then it's impossible. But if you've not got those wheels, and you'll know if you don't, then it's, okay, how can we engage players and give the pass? How can I change directions to create a little bit more space? We just need a little bit more imagination from the Swiss in attack at the moment, because the England defence is too good to just run straight at them.
And England have defended another set of 6 from the Swiss. A clean sheet for them in this first half. They lead by 2 unanswered scores. Another little show and go, this time from Nicola Marsh. And a good run from Fielding. And now England are in behind yet again. Wilson, this time turns provider. Catherine Emma Fielding dots down for England's 3rd. And as you've said, Joe, it's that impressive scoop towards their 4th and 5th touch, which keeps unlocking the Swiss defence.
Yeah, and I think the main difference between what England is doing at the moment and what the Swiss are doing at the moment is what happens after the scoop, right? So that dump both Swiss players are going to make that touch, or at least one person's going, but the other middle's not too far behind. So then there's a real big separation to get onside. And then for the England team, they're just too experienced, and they will, use a little bit of footwork, a little bit of the hips to create some separation, and then use the speed to go through. And the Swiss almost want to take a leaf out of the England playbook. So here, this is a little bit better. So looking to scoop short side. Ball goes wide, but it's into a crowded area, and now it's fifth. So again, now they've not got any touches to play with. They've not got the momentum, and it means that you've got just so much to do with no speed or impetus to do it with.
Another turnover that goes the way of England 27s. First touch, but they've got some good pace on the board. They're a long way from the box. Carried on by Daniela Mendes, a really experienced figure across the touch game. Mendes, Cone, and they have found an edge. Great pick up from Buttsworth. Good ball back on the inside. Here's Cone again, and well, that last pass just doesn't go to hand, but they are looking threatening whenever they're in attack, England.
Yeah, and that's the big difference for me right now, is the core skills. Their catch and passing, and then they're just so consistent. And they've got real good core skills that underpin everything else that they do on a touch pitch. Whereas the Swiss, it's like you've got to take that extra half a second to secure the ball, extra half a second to throw the pass, extra half a second to make the dump, and those half seconds really do start to add up. And then you're running against it. The Swiss now, we're going to drive up the midfield. Sweet, scooper comes. That's a better scoop. Ball goes long, and it's a much better attempt, but the touch just comes in at the last moment.
The first time that the scoop has really threatened England, and they were almost away. But unfortunately, the ball goes down. Well, a top first half for England who will touch up. We've got two more games after this, though, Joe, and well, they both look excellent. It's a France double-header. First in the men's 30s after their victory over Samoa early in the day. Sorry, France 30s for the first time on field against Wales, and then their mixed 30 side, who were victorious against Samoa earlier today, against Germany at 6:10. For now, though, it's Switzerland back in possession. Good ball back on the inside, but as the substitutes come on for Switzerland, the pace of the attack is just quelled a touch. Marion Paptox makes the carry this time. Bone at the half, looking for Paxton again, who goes in, but well, Pattox that time unable to convert. Strong carry up through the centre by Beth Newton. England are rolling now through Clark. Here's Kells. Snape. Another good pickup. Kells steps off the right. Quick hands, and there should be one over. And there's the acceleration to put Beth Newton in for her second. And England are all over the Swiss in this first half, Joe.
Yeah, and it's just it's the directness of that last pass, right? That pass isn't loopy, it's not slow, it's a spear. It's a spear through water, as direct as you want to be. And England are just exposing the overlaps much better than the Swiss at the moment. They're using the scoop as a foundation to create an overlap, and then using their core skills to expose that overlap and make it count. And at the moment, England just look more structured, more well drilled, and there is a bit of disparity between the level on the field at the moment. But the Swiss now, 32 short, that's a better option. The option was probably to go open side where you had a 3-on-2, not short side where we were all marked up. But again, it's early doors. We were having this discussion on pitch one earlier. It's so early in the competition that all of the coaching staff will, go over all these bits of footage, identify little areas where they can improve, and use this as almost a building block for the rest of the tournament. But England at the moment look like they're building really well. This is fifth touch, looking to scoop. Scooper looks to hit, hands go, a little bit congested. That'll be a touch and pass.
Great take by Megan Burton, but it will win her nothing in the end. Switzerland would be desperate to take something into the half-time break, which will be in just under 5 minutes' time. Looking to open up the pitch through Zubaluthi. Good early ball into the path of Binkert. Carries hard. Toll. There's the miss pass. One more. Excellent ball. Juggled in the air by Siroki Galambos. They've still got touches to play with. Here's Kavanagh. Toll. Checking back against the grain, and good England defence, though, I think is what has really categorised this first half.
Yeah, England looking really well drilled in defence, not allowing any space that's just sort of unforced, making the Swiss work really hard for any reward that they want. And again, it's just the swiftness and the crispness of the ball on the floor and how easy it is for the supporting player to come and scoop through. But as soon as I start to compliment their roll ball, they give away a roll ball infringement. Isn't that not the way of the job?
Yes, the commentator's curse has been on full show today across pitch 3 and here on pitch 6 now that I've jumped across to continue and ruin people's days out on this touch field. For now, though, it's Switzerland who are trailing by 4 to England. 4 unanswered tries as well. Here's Patux again. But, well, that's a turnover and a disappointing end to that attack, as the hooter will soon sound. Good footwork and good carries as well. Lifted again into the path of Buttsworth. Good ball inside, and Buttsworth keeps a hold of it. Celine Buttsworth has been everywhere in the centres in these last few moments. Lovely step to open up the field. Diving for the pass, but it was just beyond Janssen. Or in that case, it was Pitcher who went to ground. Janssen there making the touch instead, as Switzerland look to conjure something up right at the death of this first half. Good footwork, but she can't get away from Daniela Mendes, and that final touch flying in from Jamie Cohn will bring an end to a first half, and a particularly complete first half for this English women's 27 side.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with their general structure, especially in attack. But we've got to compliment the English defence as well. There's a reason why they've not allowed a score over. It's because of how tightly drilled they are and how much they demand of the attack that's going against them for any sort of reward. And to be honest, it's a testament to the coaching staff at the moment. They look a really well-drilled side, really organised, a lot of experience coming through from the Women's Open for the people that have moved up an age group. And they look really strong in this 27s division. And for me, the Swiss have just got to find a little bit more ability with the ball in hand to create a bit of separation between the English middles, but as we know, it's easier said than done.
Going into the break then, England hold a commanding lead and a clean sheet to boot. And that means that going into this second half, the Swiss have a lot of work to do. Half-time, England lead by 4 unanswered tries here in the Women's 27s competition on pitch 6 of the Touch Rugby World Cup 2024 here in Nottingham. 20 more minutes then for Switzerland to respond. They've come close a couple times to breaching this England women's 27s line, but have been unable to do so for the moment. Joe will be back alongside me in just a moment's time. Dragged away on business, of course. A busy time for us all here at the Touch Rugby World Cup. And in this women's 27s competition, England have a commanding lead. But Switzerland looking to reply in rapid fashion, diving in. What a start to the second half for them. So close to breaching the line. Barbara 2 comes inches too close to that line. Binkert now back in possession. Laura Binkert. Touch taken by Zuba Luthi. Zuba Luthi back on the inside. And, well, the pace has just ebbed away from the Swiss attack. Ball goes to ground. Ambitious pass beyond Siroki Galambos. So England, for the first time in the second half, forced to break deep inside their own territory. Great carry from Marsh, and they're up over halfway through Bird. But an extra step taken there, according to the referee. So Switzerland back in possession. Lisa Zuba-Luthi with the tap. A brighter start for Switzerland, and they've got 5 touches inside England's half to play with. Joe back alongside me. It's looking like a brighter start for Switzerland so far, but they've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, definitely, and I mean, much crisper in their attacking set than what we saw in the first half, although as I'm complimenting their attacking nature, they coughed the ball up, which is just what I've had all day. I had 2 instances on pitch 1, I've come over to pitch 6, I've brought my curse with me, so it's one of those, but Swiss definitely looking more up for it. England now have to not fall into the trap of being complacent. Yes, you've had a super dominant first half. Don't think that the job's done. 20 minutes is a long time in touch, and you know, as we were saying earlier on pitch 1, you can see in 20 minutes, you can see 20 scores in 20 minutes. England scoop through, they look to find a spare player, but a beautiful covering touch, and the Swiss starting to step their game up.
Try score already. Anna Wilson has also set up 1 of the 4 tries England have scored, searching for a second assist. Denied this time by the Swiss. And Touch Switzerland now on the offensive and up to halfway to Jennifer Hinham. Really 20 scores in 20 minutes over on pitch 1 earlier today? Good heavens. That's some blowouts over here, but nothing of that magnitude. Well, over on the pitch in the distance there, it's the Spanish who are enjoying some thunderous support up against the French in the women's competition. But a tap-off for England so far. They have indeed been great, haven't they, the Spanish so far?
Frustratingly good have the Spanish been.
What have they got so happy about? What sporting success have they enjoyed in the last 2 days? I don't know. That Alcaraz quote of "it's going to be a good day for the Spanish" will never leave my head as Megan Burton dives in from range and gets England's 5th. A very popular score here in Nottingham. Eventually awarded. Megan Burton converts from close range. A textbook dive as they ring in the changes. And much like in the first half, Joe, there was an early bit of pressure from the Swiss, weathered well by England, and then they go up the other end and score.
Yeah, and you know, again, I've been sort of having little conversations with people all throughout the day, different people from different countries, supporting different nations, and we all seem to agree on one thing: that's the difference between an emergent team and an established team. Is that ability to thread together the consistency, and it doesn't come overnight. It's also not an easy thing to achieve by any stretch of the imagination. The Swiss have a decent opportunity here. There's a diamond score, and they've been called offside, and the Swiss do thread together another score, and just as soon as one goes in on the other end, the Swiss hop right back down and get one of their own. It's a really nice play.
Switzerland are on the board then, their first try in this game between England. 5-1 then, a very popular score as well. There's a lot of red shirts around the bottom end of the field, as well as just in front of us here in the Swiss box. And the coaching staff said that is patience, that is working hard. That's what you get against a team like England. But how will they respond? It's Snape through the centre. Good pick up from Marsh, and Marsh, lovely little trick play. Doesn't breach the line this time. Marsh again draws a touch. Picked up by Buttsworth, who hands it off. Going alone is Kells. Hand up straight away, touch made, Switzerland turnover. But you were calling out, Joe, for some different tactics there.
Yeah, they'd set themselves up for an excellent phase play. Lovely passive link down round the back. Ball to hand, touch was made. Just get the ball down. The half is there. You can just go to the wing immediately. Just get the ball down. But maybe if this was third or fourth day and we're feeling a bit more confident and a bit more fluid, maybe that phase does happen. And yes, you're up on the scoreboard. You don't need to play the phase. I know I'm being a cynic, but come on, it would have been great. It would have been great. And what better to have a highlight like that on day one?
It's meant to be coming home. You were allowed to be critical of the England team. Australia, New Zealand and England can catch as much flack as they want, because everyone else is just doing as well as they can. That is absolutely fine, Joe. And again, it's England driving through. It's the Swiss who look the most confident at the moment. The scores are level in the second half, 1 apiece. It's just that pesky 4-0 advantage that England took into the break that separates the two sides. Another great pickup from Kells. And they do find the pass out wide. One-on-one out there is Nicky Bird, who saunters through, but the touch is made, and once again, the English are repelled. Over the far side, the Spanish have scored another. And you can hear it from here. And it's not that I don't want them to do well, but I don't want them to do well, Joe. Yeah. They've had enough. They've had enough. Turnover in a promising position for England in the meantime. Salim Buttsworth, who was up on co-coms during the club finals, Leamington Spa recently. Gets the tap off. Lucy Snape lacking a bit of support, but Buttsworth takes it to an edge. England are rolling here. Megan Burton caught. A few more touches in the bank for England. Anna Wilson. Fielding. Wilson goes alone. Inside and out. But the arm goes up from Barbara too. Touch made. One more crack at the whip this time for England. The ball goes down. Much better defence from the Swiss in this second half.
Yeah, asking many more questions of the English attack. And the Swiss seem to have condensed a lot compared to their first half defensive policy, and it's working for them. They're demanding more of the England attack for the rewards that they need. And it's the extra little bit of skills that we've seen from the Swiss in this second half that have made a difference. A little bit of footwork there, checking off before the touch, exposing the fact that England are getting complacent and sending single shooters. And now this is a great opportunity for the Swiss. Fortunately, that's 6 touch and turnover, matched by a good defensive set.
England will have possession. Tap off midway between their 7 and 10 metre line. Strong run. Let's get England underway as they work towards their box. Halfway breached. And Daniela Mendez carries. And look at the change of direction from Beth Newton. Not interested in substitutes in this phase of play. Wilson. Picked up by Fielding. Long pass back inside from Megan Burton. But an offside call. 6 touches for England. Surely a score here. Tap off by Fielding. Burton on the wrap. Burton dives between a red wall there and is repelled again. Here is Wilson. Mendez on the wrap, sliding in. This time Fielding is again denied. Really strong defence. England needs to be a bit more creative here. They're running out of touches. Pick up. Wilson changes the direction of the attack. Fielding goes alone. But another touch at the very last to deny England. And will they rue that missed opportunity? Perhaps not, as they have 6 more on the 7. I mean, someone knows it's the hosts in play. some god of luck somewhere. As Burton round the corner. Another stab at the line. Up goes the hand of Marlies Jeanne. The chant of En Suisse from the touchline, right in front of where England attack now, as they've created a bit of an overlap. Mendes is caught. Valiant defence from the Swiss. Still trailed by the 4 tries, but a significantly tighter second half. Here's Fielding. Change of direction from Wilson. The missed pass. Oh, it's almost held by Janssen, but put down, and Switzerland escape. What a defensive set, Joe.
Yeah, 2 brilliant defensive sets back to back. First one, excellent. Then you drop the ball. And again, unfortunately, we've had 2 brilliant defensive sets and we've not been able to get out of our box because we're just dropping the ball, unforced errors. It's just skill errors. And yes, it's a bit of fatigue. And unfortunately for the Swiss, you can defend as good as you want. But if you can't get the fresh legs on the pitch when you need it, the score's going to come at some point. You can't keep defending, and I hope that they prove me wrong.
Well, they've got another defensive set to Marshall here, as Cohn is caught unawares. Cohn back with it. Carried on by Marsh. Great line through the centre, goes Pitcher. And this time the score is given. It was going to take something special to breach the red wall, but Eleanor Pitcher picked out a perfect line of running and darts under. That's a great score, Joe.
Yeah, and it's a product of really good conditioning. They stick with the sweeper platform. They run the sweeper platform 3 attacking sets in a row, looking at different options: open side, short side, swinger, sweeper, all of the sort of box of tricks. And then in the last one, they just go back to your bread and butter. Normal sweeper, cuts through the middle. And England at the moment, not really having to work that hard. Oh, that's a really good ball. I think it's forward though. It is. And Swiss again, really good ideas, good impetus. It's just the 1%, the final skills that aren't as prominent as they are for the England side. The England rolling through their transition, turning over the ball. And the Swiss essentially have a tap off. And you want to get some fresh legs on the field, make the most of the touches available to you, give yourself an opportunity to have at least 2 really good opportunities at the line.
Well, it's only 4 places available in this single pool for a spot in the semi-final. The top 4 go through. And there's the likes of France, Spain, Switzerland, Singapore, England, Australia, South Africa, of course, and the Eagles, the United States, as well as Hong Kong, China in this pool. And the Swiss were really highlighting this game as perhaps one to spark their run in this tournament. Instead, it looks like they're going to be heading for a defeat. The English side would hope to have reached the top 4, at least, in this setup, as the drums are beating over behind us. The Cook Islands getting ready for their next game. Our next game here, live on pitch 6, will be the men's 30s competition, where France take on Wales, who felt really confident in their interview with us during the parade earlier about the Welsh side. France, of course, an emerging nation, but they've now since become an established one, and they've got plenty to offer in this World Cup. Strong touch, though, from England. Switzerland on the offensive. They still trail by 5 tries to 1 in this second half after being denied their most recent effort from a forward pass. So England with 6 on halfway. Another try might just be it.
Yeah, definitely. And Swiss sort of have just struggled to make their chances pay, and have also struggled to get out of their half on many occasions. And it's about touch is a game of being able to go forward more often than backwards. And yes, I know that lends to attack and defence. As attack, you're always going to go forward, defence, you're always going to go backwards. But at the same time, if you can't have field possession, you're never going to be able to sort of create that opportunity. And this is much better from the Swiss, trying to go round the outside. But the touch is made at the last minute. And the Swiss, it's a really good meters made. But now, can they use the hands to get over? They can. Second touch up the box. They keep driving. Much better than the Swiss, although slow to get fresh legs on. It's almost like the legs coming on all that fresh because of the pressure from England. And that 6-touch turnover.
Well, the light is fading in this women's 27s match between England and Switzerland. England, with that incredibly impressive first half performance, have been stifled at times by Switzerland, but runs like that from Buttsworth might just open them up. Marsh found herself a little bit lacking in support. Wilson takes the touch, and here come England round the corner, assessing her options. Snape went alone. It was Fielding that time who was denied, so Switzerland instead will have to rebuild from inside their own half. And they have made it to an edge, lifted by Siroki Galambos. Siroki Galambos again plays half. Into touch goes Zubaluthi. And here's Kavanagh. Rolling through the gears this time, Switzerland. Physical touch on 2 to put an end to the momentum. Zubaluthi, well, that's the end of the 6. Some good defence from England, promising signs with their big games yet to come.
Yeah, and you know, they'll definitely be approaching this one as almost like a tune-up game in the 27s category. They know that they've got the 2 big dogs to go and try and take on. But, you know, you've still got to go and get your win. You've got to be able to actually get scores on the board, and they've done just that. Action slowed down just a touch as we're rolling into sort of the final 10 minutes of this second half. But that's great pace shown, and the ball goes wide, and that's a score, and that's just athleticism and execution. As she cuts through them in the arcing run. She's half, she can't score, she finds the winger dots down in the corner. It's all too easy for England.
Well, that will certainly put this game beyond doubt. England have sealed their opening fixture in the women's 27 against the Swiss, as they'll look for one more attack. But an impressive showing from a talented England side. Another turnover, and England are away and home and dry. That's a wonderful ball, a great take from Moore. England, despite taking this game beyond their opponents, are not yet finished, hunting still for more scores. Buttsworth steps off the left. Here's Moore. Pitcher, try scorer in this second half already, is caught. Cone with the tap. Pitcher. Cone lifts it to Buttsworth. Looks for a pass, it comes off a Swiss hand. Good defence. There's 6 more for England, and they should score from here. Our French double billing to come after this on pitch 6. They take on Wales in the men's 30. And then Germany in the mix. Just that lofted pass. Almost found the on-rushing Beth Newton. But instead, it will be Swiss with the 6 touches. And touch Switzerland. Still driving on. Good ball on the inside, but just put down. Good idea though, Joe.
Yeah, much better from the Swiss. Trying to find a little bit more imagination. Checking back off on the inside. Trying to find an opportunity to carve the English defence open. Unfortunately, the completion rate just left wanting. And now England can roll through and try and grab another score before this game's over. They're just slowing it down a touch, getting fresh legs on the field. Here's the 6. They're on the 7 now. Oh, lovely little sweeper play coming round. The ball goes long, and that's a lovely score once again. And England running riot.
Hat-trick for Beth Newton, I believe, as well. Top performance from the England winger. And they'll take great confidence into their next fixture in the women's 27s competition. They have absolutely done everything that they were asked of in this opening game. No slip-ups against the Swiss. And Switzerland looking to create something right at the very end of this game. But there goes the buzzer. So the Swiss denied at the very last. And that will mean that it's a win for England women's 27 side. And a well-deserved win as well. They've been on top throughout this game. They really put it to bed in the first half, Joe, and all they had to do was do the basics right in the second.
Yeah, and I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Do the basics right, and that's all England really had to do. And they'll know that the big,
I love Nottingham, the home of Robin Hood. From the bright lights of Goose Fair to the peaceful nature of the Sherwood Forest woods. There's a feeling of togetherness, unity, pure, honest, love. And that feels great like a bright summer's day at the horses down by the lake at Colic. All I love Nottingham. The River Trent, the embankment, the Nottingham Carnival, different cultures dancing. The diversity, just walking down Columbus Street on a Saturday. The two lions in the square stand tall with pride. And when the market's in town come alive, it gives me life. Listen,